It's a Sunday afternoon affair featuring a familiar face to the Burnaby Lakers. Ty Yanko, their former head coach, returns to the Swamp for the first time since departing to take on the head coach and general manager positions with the Nanaimo Timbermen. There's no love lost here, though. The Lakers, they're dead set on stringing together back-to-back wins. Welcome into the Bill Copeland Arena, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tino Fair here alongside Trickshot, getting ready to bring you some more Burnaby Lakers Junior A lacrosse. The Timbermen close out their road trip after falling last night, or yesterday rather, versus the Delta Islanders. A real tough outing, which saw them score 4 straight goals in the third period to force overtime, but they fell 10-9. And they will head back home today after this one, and they're hoping to celebrate on that ferry ride home. Meanwhile, the Burnaby Lakers, they have not strung together back-to-back wins since the 2024 season. June 27th and July 2nd of 2024 was the last time they won back-to-back games. Trying to do so for the first time in quite some time. Here is Arjun Gill, starts in goal for Burnaby, his second straight start after he helped this group take down the Poco Saints on Friday evening, putting up 34 saves in that performance. And he just got better and better as that game went on. Nanaimo, meanwhile, at the other end, they're going to lean on Jay Stewart, his second straight start as well. A 52-save performance for him in the loss versus Delta. An early dunk attempt by the Nanaimo Timbermen. Jay Stewart has an 0-1-1 record. That extra one there, the overtime loss. It's Daniel Battiston to the leading scorer of this Burnaby team, Oscar Lucas. He'll drive through the middle, off ball, as the gets returned to Battiston. Lucas wants that return feed. They go to Yargo instead. He'll flip over to Battiston. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Nice move. He'll shoot around the screen and put it just off the mark. Spencer White was hoping for that rebound, but just couldn't quite find it. Keenan DeWitt. Dan O'Leary will get it going over to Jack Wade with an extra step on the defender, and Gill takes that high into his chest protector. Quickly up into his stick to get the transition going. Ben Hobson sees a bit of pressure. Splits through a double team. Oh, he's got a lane as he gets swarmed by 3 defenders, and while falling forward, able to get a shot off. Not the look that Burnaby had hoped for, but an impressive stretch of play from Ben Hobson to be able to at least get something towards the goal, but Nanaimo will have another opportunity to open the scoring here. Still scoreless. Tyson Fontenla has made his way onto the floor. DeWitt denied by Gill, and he wants that lob pass again. That leaks towards a reaching Bryce Manson-Gordon, but he could knock it down, and Nanaimo will get 2 straight possessions here. Harrison with a hard feed over. Tracking away, but a good strip by Hibbert. Ball is loose and into the air before it's knocked down by Govin Sagu. He'll turn on the Jets. He scored a goal versus Poco on Friday, maybe another one, but Stewart will squeeze that arm up against his body. 3 minutes through this opening period. Rylan Mon, 6 points on the campaign thus far. Now Wade over top, looking for a trailer. It was Dan O'Leary. He'll have to go and pick it up in the corner. Kyan Syed was knocked down. He's back to his feet as Wade fires behind the goal. DeWitt can't quite get around Weinstein. Still able to get a shot on, though, was DeWitt, and Gill made the stop. Here's A.J. Payne. Got roughed up on Friday night. Happy to see that he returned to that game, and happy to see he's okay enough to play in this one as well. A little less tape on that right leg. That's probably also a welcome sight for the Burnaby faithful, as Payne gets a good switch, loses his man in the middle though, but the shot goes wide. Now Manson Gordon avoids a check, but there is a penalty coming up to the Lakers, and it just might be to A.J. Payne. He's typically on this penalty kill for the Lakers, but now he'll watch on from the penalty box. So he'll make his way into the New Line Hose and Fittings penalty box, take a seat for 2 or less, while the 29% success rated power play of the Timbermen gets their first chance of this game. Shot didn't get through. It's knocked ahead by Hofer. He gets wrestled down and draws an interference call, looking to draw a penalty as well. He seems to be a little shaken up here. His head may have smashed down on the floor due to that contact, and this does not look good for the Lakers if Wyatt Hofer winds up out of this game for a while. Hopefully that does not wind up being the case. Looked like some mostly unintentional contact. We'll get another look at it here. So Leary was the one that ran into him, but Hofer is going to jog off on his own. Another welcome sight for Burnaby. He'll go down to the dressing room, and if he's able to return, I'll pass that information along. But for now, Hofer has been removed from this game. I'm sure he's going to get a chat with the trainer at the very least. Hopefully he'll be good enough to come back into this game. Just over 4 minutes through. Still shorthanded are the Lakers. Battiston, 13 points on the season so far, feeds Waddy. He was out of the lineup on Friday versus Poco. Back in for this Sunday afternoon meeting. And he'll get a shot which goes in and out of Jay Stewart's stick. Now Hall will stop up at the center line to get the power play back onto the floor. Halfway through said power play, Fontenla playing a bit of catch on the outside with Ethan Gordon. Now behind the net, DeWitt. O'Leary is parked in front. Gordon now skip feed down low. DeWitt couldn't handle it. Just 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and Gauthier has that off of him, and they're going to say Burnaby possession. DeWitt doesn't like it. He feels that it went off of Gauthier and out of play, but the official right there disagrees with him, and now Oscar Lucas can kill some more of this penalty time, looking to secure that upcoming 5-on-5 possession in the next 25 seconds. 13 on the shot clock, however. Alexander Cartwright puts it back into the pocket of Lucas. Now Cartwright again, 6 on the shot clock, well wide. Lucas finds the rebound with a bit of room, and a hard underhand shot stopped by the left pad of Jay Stewart. Lucas gets his own rebound. He's swarmed by 3 defenders. Good job by Lucas, though, as that wound down the remainder of that penalty time. Payne goes streaking out of the box hard and right into the play. Hibbert with a good whack on his man. Fontenla alleviates some of that pressure with a hard fake. Now we're back to even strength. Power play is 0 for 1. Down to the floor. Weinstein trying to pick it up with one hand. He'll find it. Takes a stiff cross check. He has played a lot of minutes over the last, 2 or 3 days for Will Weinstein. Is that Arjun Gill Hail Mary goes off the scoreboard. But Weinstein played on Thursday evening for the Junior B Lakers against Poco, a game which the Saints won. Then Weinstein suited up for the Junior A's for his first game with the big club on Friday against Poco. O'Leary can't beat Gill. And then Weinstein back in the lineup for the Junior A's on Sunday afternoon. Just missed that pass with a bit of pressure. He was wearing 14 on Friday evening. He's going to be wearing 24 for the big club whenever he does suit up. So expect to see a name bar on his jersey in the very near future. But I had an unnamed source tell me do not expect that he's going to come out of this Junior A lineup anytime soon. A defender that you don't notice all too much, but for the good reasons. Doesn't really make many, if any, mistakes. AJ Payne will turn on the Jets and just sprint this into the zone himself, then spins through a double team, in a bit of trouble, but cradles his way out of it, and Spencer White will pick it up to help him out. Good individual effort from AJ Payne until he had to get a little assistance from the forward White, who's in the corner. Can't tuck through. He will shoot at the last second, but just wide. Nanaimo out shooting Burnaby 5-3, just about 8 minutes through this opening period. Still scoreless, though. It's Ethan Gordon working on Wyatt Hofer back into this game. A welcome sight for the Lakers. A heart and soul player for this group. Scored a shorthanded goal on Friday night, and now Sagu gets a stick in a lane. Fontenla on the drag, and a nice stop by Arjun Gill. Hofer sprints the line. He looks like he is perfectly fine after that hard hit. Now Cartwright into the corner. Here's Waddy, hard feed over. Yargo with a good jab step. Now near side Battiston. 9 to shoot. Battiston will fire. A riser that goes off the right hand of Stewart. Rebound available, and Waddy finds it. He'll feed behind the goal. Delayed call coming up against Nanaimo. Goaltender gets to the bench, but it will be a Burnaby power play. Their first of the game. Shotcrete power play, to be exact. This Lakers team has had by far the least amount of power plays throughout this entire league. They have only played 4 games throughout their season so far, this being their 5th. And while that is a little bit of a factor, but still after this game, they will be in the mix with a bunch of other teams with 5 games played. Shorthanded chance for Nanaimo as they'll gain the center line. Almost a chance for Gavin Gunderson to go to the goal, and he's not quite done yet. Wade was there to help out now, as is Keenan DeWitt. Sidestepping, watched on by Ben Hobson. DeWitt, more so to the middle. Now he'll back away and wind up putting that deep into the corner. Little over a minute left in this Burnaby power play. They were 1 for 5 on Friday against the Saints, 3 for 8 on the season. Lucas in his office. Yargo is going to quarterback this at the point. Now Battiston. Yargo to the corner. Here's Spencer White. Yargo has it. He'll skip across to Urquhart. Couldn't shoot. Battiston has a lane. He'll fake the pass. Yargo will step into one, and Stewart will hang on with his stick. Lakers unable to get to the middle of the floor for the most part. But take a look at who's on that power play for Burnaby. Spencer White, who is a first-year junior. Shows the amount of trust that head coach Tyler Kirkby has in him. Gill able to fight that one off and looking for the rebound. Michael Hibbert helps out his goaltender and then splits around Gordon to gain the center floor. 13 seconds left on this man advantage. Got to be careful of shot selection here for the Lakers. Don't want to give Nanaimo any sort of fast break chance as Urquhart steps through but can't get it underneath of the stick of Stewart. And here is a potential fast break for Nanaimo, and defended well by White, backtracking into his defensive zone, and now he'll peel off to the bench. He'll be replaced by Bryce Manson-Gordon up top, and he'll get the tough matchup of Tyson Fontenla. DeWitt pushed to the side by Hobson. Now Harrison, and Wade will be denied by Arjun Gill to the middle. Wade thinking about that dunk. He'll switch hands, gets a hard cross check by Manson-Gordon. Now DeWitt, far side feed. Fontenla with the spin. Now Harrison and DeWitt on the quick pass to his right. And looking under the arm, Gill goes down to a knee to make sure he hangs on to it. Both goaltenders settling in quite nicely here. Weinstein leaves for Cartwright before making the beeline over to the bench. Cartwright. Hard step, but can't get underneath on Goodwin. Now Waddy. Oscar Lucas, 12 on the shot clock. He'll drive through. Oh, that low-handed swim to split a couple of defenders. Lost it. White shoots, and Stewart falls back to make sure it's underneath of him. And was it ever? That had a chance to trickle over the line, if not for those instincts of Jace Stewart. A 9.21 goals against average and an .825 save percentage for him. This is his third start of the season. DeWitt, one-handed flip, it's intercepted, and Syed with a chance to go. Numbers for Burnaby, pass up to Gauthier, another stick save for Stewart. That rolls behind the goal, and Gauthier tried to pick up the rebound, but he had just slid his way through the crease. Still no Jeremy Lant in this game for Burnaby. Nanaimo again goes behind the goal, and they tried to force one to DeWitt. Through just a forest of sticks. Hard to find a passing lane there. Now Luke Harish-Blight wanted to go to goal, but couldn't pick that loose ball up cleanly. Otherwise, he would have been with that step to the middle. The officials make him go to the perimeter, and he'll wind up just peeling off to the bench. Waddy switches back to his usual right hand. Pass across to Lucas was deflected, and Stewart will collect. Pass up to Bishop. Wants to get this up to the offense. He'll enter the zone before feeding to Ethan Gordon. Now Gordon looks up and sees a trailer coming off the bench. Here's Dan O'Leary. Back to Gordon, and a shot after the whistle. That could have been a delay of game, but referees want to let this one go on. Sagu looking around him and sees a double team, and then threw an ill-advised pass over towards White, and that was read and intercepted nicely. Ryder Goodwin, a good start to this game. Bourne over to Wade. A fast-moving first period, just 6.5 minutes left. We're still scoreless. DeWitt through the middle to the cutter. Wade can't beat Gill. A nice stop for him. Wade gets his own rebound. Fresh 30 for Nanaimo. DeWitt didn't realize it. He went to the bench. Now he'll be replaced by O'Leary. Here's Fontenla wearing a letter for this team. Gordon couldn't handle the pass, and Weinstein looked to go around Gordon but was angled into the board. Still made a nice play, and the offense can start to make their way on. Hofer and Luke Harish-Blight teaming up on that clearance, and Cartwright will sidestep his way into the corner. Waddy. Late change now is finished. There's just 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Lakers. Battiston through the middle for White. Good reception there, and able to spin a shot towards the goal, but didn't get everything on it. Now a good forecheck by Burnaby, and here's Oscar Lucas. Now across, and Waddy denied by the left shoulder. And is there a penalty on the play to Nanaimo? An illegal substitution is being signaled, and we will once again see a power shotcrete power play. Second chance of this period. You just know this is a motivated Lakers group, considering the man running the bench on the other side for the Timbermen. Ty Yanko coached 60 games in total. That's including regular season and playoffs as the head coach of the Burnaby Lakers. That's spanning across the seasons from 2023 to 2025. Yargo again going to quarterback this man advantage. Battiston. Lucas starting to leak towards the middle. Now he'll get it, or wanted it, at that far shooter position. Battiston with a good fake, and can't get it through. Jay Stewart had him dancing in the crease, but Stewart makes himself big and takes away a grade A opportunity from Daniel Battiston, who will watch on from the bench. Ethan Gordon now with a shorthanded offensive set for the Timbermen. DeWitt, watched on by Hobson. Looks up and sees Bryce Manson-Gordon on the switch. Now DeWitt has his shot go off a stick, and it'll bounce its way back over center. So Lakers will get a free clear, 4:34 on the clock. Still half of their power play to make something happen as they'll work it around the perimeter to kick things off. Battiston again gets the screen set by Yargo. Lucas, the intended recipient, off a stick of Gunderson. Now Urquhart. Yargo, backhander, and again, that just handcuffed Lucas a little bit. White has it with room as well. He'll shoot off the post and in. Finally, we get a goal on the board. It comes from Spencer White on the power play. Once again, folks, we are talking about a first-year junior in Spencer White. He is listed on the roster as a call-up, but how could you take him out of the lineup with how good he's been? This Junior A Lakers team still waiting for a couple of their imports to make their way into the lineup, into town. And that may change things for Spencer White a little bit, but with the way he contributes, it's hard to imagine a future for this Junior A Lakers team that does not include Spencer White. And that's all you can ask for is he gets it here, and another sub shot that can't beat Stewart 5-hole. All you can ask for from a player is to make the coach make a difficult decision. Now Manson-Gordon with a step, feeds to the middle, and they can't beat Jay Stewart again. But a hard sprint around the corner from Morse. He'll get onto the bench. 3.5 left in this first period, which favors Burnaby 1-0. They're also leading in shots 11-10 now, a category which they have trailed for most of this frame. Fontenla gets around Syed, goes to the goal, and Gill is run into hard by Fontenla. No penalty on the play. Gill appears to be all right, and here go the Lakers. Battiston gets the screen from Hofer and scores! That'll make Arjun Gill feel pretty good at the other end of the floor. Get up from some contact, and as you look forward, your team gets another one. It's a 2-0 lead as we see that hard hit in the crease. Arjun Gill able to bounce back up from that. At the other end, Daniel Battiston finds his footing, waits for the screen from Wyatt Hofer, and fires that around Jay Stewart for the 2-0 lead. What a sequence that turned out to be for Burnaby. DeWitt, now Wade over on the roll, and Gauthier able to get in the way of the Nanaimo forward. DeWitt on a nice split, and Gill absorbs that. Again, he wants that quick pass up, and waiting near center was Tyler Gauthier. Lucas takes a hard cross-check in the numbers. Keeps his feet moving, but in a little bit of trouble. Protects and gets some help now from Yargo. Lucas will spin one more and shoot, looking 5-hole. Stewart appears to have lost sight of where it was, but then found it. Throws a hard pass up the floor. Approaching 2 minutes left in period one. Now Gordon scores a bouncer, and he'll do the Lambeau leap into the glass. Able to get that stick side on Gill to cut the lead in half. Ethan Gordon, believe that's just his first goal of this season. Came into this with just an assist to his name. But a good drive with no help underneath, and throws that hammer shot past Arjun Gill. It took Nanaimo 13 shots before they could beat Burnaby's netminder. And they want some more. It's Rylan Mon able to find that and Almost a chance for Nanaimo. An interesting path by the defender, Dan Bishop. Decides to go around the forward. Now Mon crashing the crease, hoping for an airborne shot. Ball falls out of his stick, and DeWitt puts that right into the Burnaby logo. Now Gauthier up to Hofer. Remember, Wyatt Hofer set that pivotal screen on the Daniel Battiston goal. Don't think he'll get an assist, but that goal doesn't happen without that extra jumping effort of Wyatt Hofer to jump up into the play. Now Stewart has that go off his shoulder. Ball is down onto the floor. Nanaimo doesn't realize it. Looking for it, and they've just got a second to get over center. A second which they cannot find. So Burnaby gets the free clear here into the final minute of this first period. Burnaby would love to get another one back, and Lucas jumping through the crease can't beat Stewart. They wanted an early shot. They got it. Almost got the rebound as well. Now Nanaimo wants an early shot too. Both teams hoping to hold for last possession. Burnaby, they're going to have about 4 seconds on the shot clock if they're able to wind this entire 30 down. But if they're able to get a shot and a rebound, they may call timeout here. 15 on the shot clock, now 17 until the end of the period. Here's Cartwright down to the corner. Urquhart, shot clock winds down to 7. Skip feed hard across to White. That goes off of Stewart. Burnaby wants this rebound. Gets past the man at the half wall. Yargo keeps this in play. 2 to shoot, they will, and that'll be a big Nanaimo block. Arjun Gill was never able to get to the bench, but now will make his way to the dressing room alongside his teammates. 2-1, the Lakers lead through 20 minutes. Goals coming from Spencer White and then Daniel Battiston able to get one on that fast break opportunity. For Nanaimo, it was Ethan Gordon who was able to get one late on the board for Nanaimo to cut that lead down to 1. And now both teams will get a bit of a breather and try to recover in time for period number 2, which is going to come up in, like I said, about 10 minutes time here at the Bill Copeland Sports Center. Thanks for joining us here on Trickshot. I've been Tino Farah. We'll be back with more after this. back to the Swamp for second period action coming up in just a matter of moments. If you've missed any of the action, well, don't you worry, because we got the Saskay Ready Mix first period review just in time for you between Burnaby and Nanaimo. It is the hometown Lakers up by 1, but very limited scoring in totality here. Spencer White got one on the power play. Not too much longer later, a little over a minute, Daniel Battiston got one in transition, an unassisted goal from him, before Nanaimo got one on the board with just shy of 2 minutes left in the first period from Ethan Gordon, his first of the season, to get Nanaimo on the board and to the score where we see now 2-1, led by Burnaby. Nanaimo leaning on Jay Stewart. He stopped 15 of 17 first period shots, good enough for an .882 save percentage. Arjun Gill is having another good showing for the Lakers. He made 15 saves in the first, good enough for a .938 save percentage. And Burnaby will win the opening draw here as well. There's a loose stick thrown across the floor. It's Caden Urquhart. Drives on Gunderston, and that bounces just out of play. Nanaimo now with a chance to even up the score at 2-2. We talked a lot in the first about how motivated of a group Burnaby is going to be to win this game, considering they're going up against their former head coach from just last year. Should also say as well, I mean, Ty Yanko is certainly going to have his group fired up and ready to go for this one, considering, I mean, that exact same thing, and also considering the fact that they currently sit with an 0-5 record, but their game yesterday against Delta real close to going in their favor, scoring 4 straight goals in the third period to force overtime, but just falling short, 10-9 the final score in that one. They're getting close to their first win of the season, but the Lakers want to make sure that does not happen here on their home floor. Cartwright, he can certainly score, but his pass towards the middle didn't work out. White had his stick tied up, and now here come the Timbermen to tie the game off the bench. Robbed by Gill. What a stop with the glove. And Payne will go down in search of that loose ball. It's thrown up now to Sagu. He's got Hofer going to goal, and Sagu can't beat Stewart 5-hole. Both goaltenders with a couple of big stops for their teams. Now Lucas is wrestled down from behind. Continues to mix it up while Hall picks that up with one hand in the corner. Hard pass across, and there's the 8-second count. Fast start, now 2 minutes through period number 2. Lucas gets the screen from White, who rolls. Pass was just maybe a second too late. Nanaimo able to escape their defensive zone after giving it away at center floor. Toth over the line to Fontenla. Tyson Fontenla with 13 points through their 5 games played so far. Hard pass over, and Gordon now clearing space for DeWitt, working on Syed, a bounce shot that missed. Hard off the end boards. Burnaby didn't want to pick that up, and a late shot from Fontenla will get off just a second or so too late. Gauthier over the line to Cartwright. Cartwright, 5 points on the year so far, each and every one of those being a goal. Lucas back on for back-to-back shifts. Sidestepping through. Now up top, Cartwright again looking to the 5-hole, but Stewart shuts the door. Stepping out of his crease, looking for a target. He's got to get this over the line. He sees a man cutting through the middle and makes the good pass just in the nick of time. Fontenla back out. Mon. Good slash right on the stick by Sagu. Veteran play from the 5th-year defender out of Surrey, British Columbia. Hofer with a good burst of speed. Here's White. Burnaby already close to 20 shots on goal. Pass across, here's Lucas off the hardwood. He'll flip through, White couldn't handle the pass. Bounces towards the side of the crease, and Stewart will just let the clock expire before picking it up. Now throws that up the line. Bishop has it near center. Syed quickly across the floor to close that gap. Hall to Fontenla. Both he and Michael Hibbert couldn't handle it. Gordon saves the back over. Blindly, though, it's taken away, and Gauthier is sprinting towards the goal. He'll tuck, he'll shoot, and missed it wide. Scrambly to kick off this second period from both teams, really. Gordon heard the footsteps of Ben Hobson. Just able to spin off that at the last second. Now Wade back across to the far side. Gordon working on Morse. A backhand shot, and Gill in position to make that save, and then a crease violation will go against Nanaimo. So Leary ran through the crease and then was next to touch. Cartwright leaves for White. Screen set, the roller is Lucas. Had to jump to pick that up, but winds up taking it from the corner. Lucas, with his hands tied up, makes the play over to White. Now Waddy with a hard shot, rebound off the chest protector, and gets back into position to rob Cartwright from point blank range. Not a flashy save, but another good positional stop by Jay Stewart. And Weinstein able to force a tough Nanaimo pass out of play. Possession Lakers. Not everybody from Nanaimo had been able to change. Battison scored, but it's going to be disallowed as he touched down to the crease. And Waddy appears to be on the limp, getting back to the Lakers bench. Excuse me, it's Battiston, and he's hunched over right now. Trainer may be coming over to have a conversation with him. Delayed penalty coming up against Burnaby, and yep, they've got 6 defenders on the floor right now. It'll be an illegal substitution call as DeWitt looks for the dunk. Falls over to Mon. 3 on the shot clock. Hard pass across. Wade missed well wide, and that's going to do it for that shot clock, and that's going to do it for this, 6-on-6 set, really. The net was empty for Nanaimo, but Burnaby with 6 defenders on. The referee, or one of the referees here, Cam Anderson, makes the illegal substitution call. Should say as well, Vince Burrell, the other referee, making his way to that far corner. So second power play coming up for Nanaimo. They're 0 for 1. Burnaby opened the scoring in this game with a power play goal from Spencer White. It's a Del Bianco contracting short man opportunity for Burnaby as they'll deflect a pass out of play. Fresh 30 for Nanaimo. Fontenla at the point. Behind the goal for DeWitt, where they go often. Back across. Oh, and Wade had a chance for a one-timer, but couldn't get a clean look on it. It's interesting. We saw a lot of the Burnaby power plays from last year wind up behind the goal. A clear tactic of Ty Yanko is that's somebody that carries over to Nanaimo with him on the bench now. Should also say for Yanko, he's on the bench for the Senior A team as well, not in a head coaching role, but in an assistant coach capacity. So head coach and general manager here with the Junior A Timbermen, also on the bench for the Senior A's. Good shoulder save by Gill. Rebound picked up by Gauthier right out of midair. Now Sagu turned and saw that ball coming towards him at the last second. One shorthanded goal so far for the Lakers this season. Delayed Nanaimo penalty coming up now. Still want to kill as much of this clock as possible. Bryce Manson-Gordon serving the illegal substitution call. Lucas stripped from behind, and just as the shot clock goes, Nanaimo picks it up, and it will be an interference call going against the Timbermen with 25 seconds remaining in their power play. So we'll see 25 seconds of 4-on-4. before it'll be a shortened Burnaby power play. So Dan O'Leary will serve. We'll see that floor really open up in the offensive zone right now. Through the middle, Lucas, a nice pass, scores! Well, that didn't take much time at all. 12 seconds to be exact with this 4-on-4 set. And a set play drawn up for Oscar Lucas. He pots home his 11th of the year. Just pushes off of Gunderson. And as long as Cartwright can make that pass to him, which he did, that's an easy catch and release from Oscar Lucas, who had all sorts of time to fire underneath of Jay Stewart. The 2-goal lead is now restored, and on the ensuing faceoff, Spencer White will pick it up. So the final 4 seconds winding down on the penalty being served by Manson Gordon. He'll step onto the floor and sprint straight across, bringing on Oscar Lucas. So 12 seconds on this shot clock. Nanaimo now 0 for 2 on the power play. Here's Lucas, robbed by Stewart. That's a nice stick save from him. Oscar Lucas almost scored back-to-back goals for the Lakers. Still may do so as Luke Havers-Blight picks that up and gets the power play back on again off the Nanaimo turnover. Now a minute on the Burnaby power play. Here's Lucas. Tucks around Hall, looking to the top corner, fought off nicely by Stewart. Rebound is batted to the corner, picked up by White. Another reset for the Lakers. Power play making their way on once more. Most of them were still on the floor. Just had to bring on Urquhart, who has it here, and Yargo at the point. Yargo shoots, shoulder save, Stewart. Lucas to Yargo. Caden Urquhart. Threatening a shot. Yargo takes it, missed the net, and it bounces back over center. So 20 seconds remaining on the interference penalty to Dan O'Leary. Which means Nanaimo, if they take care of this ball, they can kill the rest of this off and make Burnaby 1 for 3 on their power play. Dan O'Leary taking a seat in the new line hose and fittings penalty box. And right on cue, he'll step back out onto the floor and into the play as well. With possession, O'Leary flips through the middle. Gill with a nice stick save. Wade hunting for that rebound. Closed off by Havers-Blight, and Hobson will find it in the opposite corner. Sidesteps Mon. Burnaby's got to be quick now with their transition. Over center just in time is Cartwright. Came sprinting across the floor. Halfway through this game now as Yargo will step on and jog into position. Waits for a little bit of help from White. Pass across, and Cartwright just missed. Off the sideboards. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Yargo with a little bit of room and fires towards the 5-hole. Stewart had his stick in perfect position. Now Toth on the bounce. First man in, Fontenla. Only Nanaimo goal so far has come from the stick of Ethan Gordon. Gordon is on the floor, but he's parked in the corner. Fontenla had to leap to find that. Now through the middle to Gordon, and he can't beat Gill. Stayed with the shooter. Now Hofer calmly over the line. Hofer watched on by Fontenla. The forward stuck playing defense for a little while. Hofer's going to stay in play too as Cartwright goes through the crease. Possession back to Nanaimo. Mentioned earlier in the broadcast, it's been a while since Burnaby has strung together back-to-back wins going back to the 2024 season. July 2nd was the tail end of those back-to-back games when they took down New West by a final score of 13-10. The last time they were able to accomplish that feat, Josh Gabriel was still on this team. And that of note because he's on the bench now for the Lakers as one of their coaches. Actually, both Gabriels are on the bench, both Jordan and Josh. But they were in the lineup the last time, or excuse me, Josh Gabriel was in the lineup as a player the last time that Burnaby had collected back-to-back wins. The first of those back-to-back coming on June 27th in a 13-12 win over Langley. Now Wade to the short side. That goes off the end boards. Picked up and carried forward by A.J. Payne. Man, you'd have no idea that he had to miss some of the game versus Poco with what looked to be a lower body injury. He is moving perfectly fine, as you just saw on that sprint over. Now White on the spin and dive. Put that wide. Now he can't touch as Burnaby finds possession. Urquhart's going to cut through and scores! Caden Urquhart on an individual drive picks up his second of the year. Not many would be able to split through the defenders like that. It wasn't even a pretty move or anything. That's just a grit grinder type of drive. Just a little bit of space in between those defenders. He takes the contact to make the play, and another one that gets underneath of Jay Stewart. Largest lead now that Burnaby has had all game. It still is a deficit of just 3. And Weinstein will hope to play a part of making that lead even more. They'll go to the corner as Hall goes down to the floor trying to get some contact on Cartwright. They'll continue to jaw in the middle of the floor. Waddy on the drag. He's going to dive and shoot, and that's a great stick stop from Stewart. Be careful of that center line. Picks that up just over. Ryder Goodwin gets to the bench after feeding O'Leary. Now Gordon. Hard screen set, and Hofer goes down, but Gill bails out the defenders. Now Hofer reaching and picks up that bounce pass from Gill. White, a good swing over to Battiston. Now Urquhart rounds that top side corner, swings to Yargo, shoots around the screen, and Stewart got the glove there in time. Bourne reaching for it, and instead he'll knock that free to Jack Anderson. Anderson all the way up to a reaching Bourne. Now O'Leary replaces his defender and steps into a shot. Once again, Nanaimo, they're getting their looks, but the shot selection right now, oftentimes they are hitting Arjun Gill in the logo. Horace Blight switches hands a couple of times. Good burst of speed for him to save this possession, but then throws a pass across the floor that was read well by Wade. And after a double shift out the O and D gate for Wade, he may stay here as he loses his glove and then bats that to an open area. Problem was Tyler Gauthier was right there to pick it off. Lucas settling things down. Another fast-moving period here. 5 minutes left in this middle frame, which sees Burnaby up 4-1. Cartwright to Lucas. Nothing for Lucas just yet. Or excuse me, he's got a goal in this game. My mistake. Timberman will clear, thanks to a slow jog over the line by Ryder Goodwin. Up to Fontenla, driving on Sagu. Fontenla takes his space behind the goal. DeWitt on a split dodge. Mon will set the screen. Up top, Gordon. Gets around Sagu and scores. Second of the game now for Gordon. He is the only Timberman who has been able to beat Arjun Gill so far. It's Ethan Gordon, 0 goals on the season coming into this game, and that is something that can no longer be said. He's got 2 this afternoon. That hard step on Sagu just opened up a little bit of space as he turned back the opposite direction and bounced that 5-hole on Gill. Now Michael Hibbert will line up against Fontainela. Burnaby's been good at the face-off dot this afternoon. And if they can find this loose ball, they'll get another win. Spencer White picks that up off the hardwood. Swims around that double team, still with possession. Now it goes to the floor. Fontainela continuing to dig for it. This is Burnaby possession, but no longer the case. Nanaimo will pick it up. Fontainela takes a good whack from Syed. Now Ollie K waits for a little bit of help. Chaos in the middle of the floor right now. DeWitt spins off of Hofer. Good switch. Battiston out for a defensive stand, as was Oscar Lucas. And he'll calmly pick that up on his own side of center. 3.5 now to play. A low-scoring 4-1 game in favor of the Lakers. Lucas, got to be careful of that crease. Just avoids it. Now Cartwright, a little bit of room. Fires wide. Lucas off the rebound and avoids the crease, gets the shot off, but Stewart, another nice shoulder stop for him. One other game on the schedule today. It was already underway by the time this one got going, and it was on the island between Langley and Victoria. And Nanaimo gets another one, specifically Ethan Gordon. He'll complete the hat trick. A 1-goal game all of a sudden. Nanaimo makes it 2 straight, both of them coming from 54. Stick side this time on Gill. Now Nanaimo needs to help out Ethan Gordon a little bit. Needs some more contributions from their depth. But just to finish that point, Langley right now, it looks like they're going to close out this game. According to the BC Junior A website, 33 seconds remaining in regulation. Langley leading 7-6. Yargo, nice flip over to White. Good fake and shoot and scores. Spencer White gets another. That's a big answer back goal for Burnaby, and you can see right away on their bench, Tyler Kirkby loves it. So we'll get another look here. Sells 2 defenders, one of those defenders is actually a forward for Nanaimo, and Keenan DeWitt stuck out for a defensive shift. And I think Spencer White knew exactly what he was doing by going straight to the goal on a forward. Now it's another face-off win for Burnaby, trying to make it 2 straight goals themselves. Hovers Blight bobbled the pass, and Jay Stewart has seen enough. Lobs that up the floor. Bourne waits for Fontainela. Now 2 minutes left in this second period. It was a 1-goal game a moment ago before Burnaby got to their scoring ways once again, extending the lead back up to 2. Here's Mr. Hat-trick, Ethan Gordon, behind the goal. Wade through the middle. Mon can't beat the stick of Arjun Gill, who trapped that in his crease. Now Manson Gordon maybe in some trouble. He's knocked down from behind. It's a back over call. Put himself into a tough position. On the other hand, though, Nanaimo, they read that matchup perfectly, put him into a tough position. It's a glass half full or half empty type of situation. But Manson Gordon still having to defend a little bit longer. Gordon back on. So Wade will fire it wide. It'll ricochet back towards Ethan Gordon. Plenty of time to work for Nanaimo as a bouncer thrown through the middle of the floor. Now Gordon on his wrong side over to DeWitt. A good split and shoot. And Gill down on his knees makes the save. Final minute. Luke Hoverish Blight, a good handle to keep possession in favor of the Lakers. Stick with us at the end of this period for a quick intermission report before we take a breather and get set for period number 3. A big one coming up. Urquhart, a jumper, stopped easily by Stewart, and then it's blindly thrown towards the center line. Hofer picks that up with under 30 seconds to go. Does Burnaby want timeout? Yes, they do. 25 seconds left in the period, and the shot clock will be turned off, so they can just hang on for final shot here if they so choose. And expect to see Arjun Gill start on the bench. And Burnaby to go 6-on-5. Two goaltenders come to center floor and say what's up to each other, give each other a quick fist bump, as we're seeing a pretty good goaltending matchup in general here. Gill got his first win of the season versus Poco on Friday night. Already mentioned his 34 save performance. Jay Stewart still looking for his and Nanaimo's first win of the year. But Stewart with a respectable .825 save percentage in his 2 starts. Remember, 52 stops in the overtime loss versus Delta yesterday. Goaltending not the issue in that one. So the net is indeed empty, 25.8 on the clock. 6-on-5 for Burnaby, trying to extend their lead to 3 heading in towards the third period. Outward pressure from Nanaimo as White gets it back over to the righties. They may want an early shot here. Good movement from Burnaby. Cartwright tucks and it's knocked away from him. Urquhart, Battiston, Urquhart again. Shoots low, and that hit Yargo in the corner, and that's going to do it for this period. They win a little earlier than most. But either way, a 2-goal advantage in favor of the Lakers as they make their way towards their dressing room, as will the Nanaimo Timbermen. 5-3 is the score through 40 minutes. This will bring you up inside the booth for a quick intermission report here from Bill Copeland. And again, from the Nanaimo side of things, look no further than Ethan Gordon. He has all 3 of their goals. And while that's a big afternoon for Ethan Gordon himself, that appears to be a little bit of the problem right now for Nanaimo. Defensively, the rest of their scorers, specifically Tyson Fontenla, Wade, another one as well, who puts up a lot of points for this group. Those 2 are the ones that score a lot of their goals. So far, goose eggs, nothing from them, which is a good sign from the Burnaby perspective. Their defenders are matching up well right now against Nanaimo, but Ethan Gordon doing the bulk of the work, offensively speaking, for Nanaimo. From the Burnaby side of things, they are once again leading on Arjun Gill, who had a good game versus Poco. He's followed it up once again here 48 hours later versus this Nanaimo team in another start here at home. And while they wavered a little bit through that second period and Nanaimo started to climb back into it, a good answer back from Burnaby, which is exactly what Tyler Kirkness could hope for as they make their way towards this third and final period in regulation. One more period to go here from the Bill Copeland Sports Center. We'll bring you all of it right here on Trickshot. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll be back after this. inside the swamp for the start of period number 3. And once again, if you did miss any of that second, let's bring you the B&B Contracting second period review. As at one point, the Lakers up by as many as 3. Then that lead was cut down to as little as 1 before Spencer White got another one on the board. Second period goals coming from Oscar Lucas, Caden Urquhart, and as mentioned, Spencer White. A couple in a row from Nanaimo in between all of those, both of them coming from Ethan Gordon, who has all 3 of the Timbermen strikes. They continue to lean on their netminder, Jay Stewart, who has stopped 30 of 35. Arjun Gill with a .906 save percentage and 29 saves to his name. Michael Hibbert has taken the bulk of the faceoffs for Burnaby. Not this one, though. Hofer's going to come out and win that back towards his own restraining line. Weinstein had it for a second, stumbled. Hofer takes it, and he'll turn on the Jets and gain the line, as we see him do often. Cartwright with a quick jab step, and he'll backpedal away. Burnaby would love to get their offense going early in this period. A set play as Waddy goes to goal and can't avoid the crease and then gets hit after the whistle. But it will be a crease violation either way, and everybody will separate. But a good drive by Waddy on a clear out through the middle. Now Gordon. One shy of his 4th of the game. He'll put it behind the net. Fontenla. Mon wasn't expecting it. Luke Hawrish, Blight taken down, and he's going to draw a penalty. Morse shovels that over the line. Oh, a dangerous pass towards Gauthier, but Bourne intercepts. And Burnaby now will get their 4th power play opportunity of this one. 1 for 3 so far. So it'll be a shotcrete power play here at the Swamp on a tripping penalty to Rylan Mon. And a penalty taken in the offensive zone. That's not going to make their bench staff all too happy. Should say as well, Andrew Bowman, the offensive coordinator for this Nanaimo Timbermen team. The reigning league MVP from just a year ago. Battiston. Spencer White on the floor. He has the power play goal for the Lakers. Parked in the corner, now with possession. Takes a step towards the middle. Feeds to the point. Yargo with a shot and scores. Burnaby gets their 2nd power play goal of the game, and they'll grab that 3-goal advantage for the 2nd time in this game. You can just feel when Yargo wants to shoot. This one, of course, a little more predictable in it being late in the clock, but the high penalty killers don't really take away that shooting lane from him, playing the pass. And if you're going to give that step to Yargo, well, expect that he will fire, as we just saw there. 6-3 the Lakers lead. A minute and a half through this 3rd and final period. A.J. Payne will pick it up and throw towards the middle where Ben Hobson was streaking. Hobson gets between a couple of Timberman defenders before sprinting off for a change. Cartwright behind the goal. Waddy with a nice pass through, handled well by White. 5 on the shot clock. He sees a lane that he likes. He'll go to goal, and he's robbed by Stewart. A stick side glove stop. Now Gunderson, a bomb up that finds Bishop. One more to the middle, denied by Gill. That is a great stop for him. We saw a few highlight reel saves from Arjun Gill on Friday evening. Another great showing from him this afternoon at home. Urquhart on the swim. Now Battiston has it. Limited time to work with. Swing pass over to Yargo, and he just has to roll that towards Stewart after he ran out of time and space. Toth able to get this over the line, and feed over to Gordon. Now DeWitt has it on his toes, waiting for some help. He'll get the switch with Gordon. has possession now into the corner. O'Leary gets topside. Now DeWitt once again behind the goal. Wade, he'll try to tuck that in on the dunk. Cannot beat Arjun Gill. Manson Gordon absorbs that slash. Now Urquhart off a defensive stick. It'll ricochet all the way down the floor. Gill thinking about going out to play it. He looked up and saw Jack Hall sprinting towards him, but Burnaby, they just have 4 seconds on the clock. It's fired wide, and Aiden Waddy will make his way towards the bench to be replaced by Tyler Gauthier. Bourne drops for Mon. He took the penalty, which wound up as the goal from Yargo. Fontenla on the toe drag. He'll shoot off the glove. Picked up in the middle of the floor by Gauthier. Absorbs a slash himself. Now Morse looking forward, and Luke Hauberge-Blight had just stepped over the line. A little over 4 minutes into this third period. Addiston to the corner. Cartwright. A triple threat is Alexander Cartwright. He was formerly the 7th overall pick for this Lakers team. Now Urquhart driving through, shoots and scores. With contact, still able to get a shot between the legs of some defenders. Remember, Caden Urquhart had that drive on his first goal of the game, which saw him split, really a triple team and take some contact while shooting. This time again, he takes a stiff shoulder. And I don't think Stewart was really expecting a shot, but Urquhart still able to get one off, and now it is the largest lead that Burnaby has seen, and there's a penalty coming up to the Lakers. Hibbert knocked Fontenla down, and Nanaimo will get a chance on the man advantage to cut into the lead. Slashing will be the call, and Fontenla looks like he's going to be all right. And he'll stay out in time for this power play. Third chance on the man advantage this game for for Nanaimo. And for Fontenla. So he runs point on each and every one of these man advantages. Wade with a shot. Missed off the boards. Gordon on the hunt for the rebound. He picks it up. No looker to Fontenla, who shoots. Fought off by Gill. Big rebound will go all the way down the floor. Gordon. Now DeWitt is going to be in the near side corner. Fontenla over to Wade. Fontenla again. Gordon shoots, scores. Give him 4. Nanaimo finally breaks through on the power play. But they continue to look for anybody other than Ethan Gordon to score a goal. Gill got a piece of it. Did not wind up being enough. Just goes under the arm. Nanaimo is not out of this game by any means, but they would benefit greatly from some depth scoring here. Back to 5-on-5. Both teams have at least one goal on the power play. Nanaimo getting their latest one. But before that, it was Burnaby getting one on the power play themselves from Caden Urquhart. Urquhart just stepping back onto the floor now is Yargo. Gets it over to Lucas. It was Yargo who scored the power play goal. Urquhart getting another one shortly afterwards. Both actually back on the floor. Here's Yargo in the middle on a twister, robbed by Stewart. Knocked down from behind, and now Yargo is not an option for Lucas to pass to. But Yargo came into the play to set a screen for Lucas, and you have to establish yourself outside of the possession. That's why that'll be possession Nanaimo. Even though Yargo had not touched the ball, still engaged in to set the screen for Oscar Lucas, which gives possession back to the Timbermen. Jack Wade, Ethan Gordon, and now behind the net for Keenan DeWitt. Comes out over top, reaching around Gill and Syed, and Gill recovers over to stop Fontenla. Morse will make his way over. Cartwright on the drop pass. He'll be watched by Hall. Battiston back to Cartwright. Hall gets up on him. Spin move from Cartwright. Puts it behind the goal. No looker over to the far side for Spencer White. Up top, Cartwright fakes the pass. Now feeds Urquhart in the corner. Gets knocked down. Excuse me, it was Waddy. May have taken an extra slash while he was down. No, I had it right the first time. It was Caden Urquhart. Rylan Mon runs into a double team. A great slide by Segu. Now Mon appears to be on the limp as he jogs off the floor. Looks like that may have been knee on hardwood for him, which, I mean, yes, it's not concrete, but the wood here at the Swamp does not have a lot of give. That still hurts when you go down on it hard, especially when you got a defender going down on top of you. Cartwright can't beat Stewart. Pass up to Bourne. Getting close to when Nanaimo's going to have to start to take some chances. Again, it's just a 3-goal deficit, but the clock fighting against them. Gordon sees Arjun Gill fighting against him. Payne with a nice fake, and he'll sprint. AJ Payne has had a sneaky good game in this one. Battison's pass is knocked down. If Burnaby's quick, they can get a shot off. Nice pass over to White. One-handed shoveler puts it wide. That would have been pretty. I mean, you just wonder what he's going to look like in years 3, 4, and 5 of his junior career. Rylan Mon took a shoulder up into the face mask just as he stepped on the floor. He appears to be in some discomfort on the Nanaimo bench. Okay, taken down from behind. Tyenko hollering for a penalty. Not going to get it. Sagu going to goal, and a pretty move from the defender. Fakes far side, looks back under the arm of Jay Stewart, who steps back across to his right. Now DeWitt. Mon back on the floor. So good to see he's not going to miss any significant time after he took that hit up high. Hobson working on Wade. Wade gets through, bounces one, and scores. And he's fired up after that goal. That's a big one for Nanaimo. Trailing now just by 2 with 10.5 to play. Finally, somebody not named Ethan Gordon able to score a goal here. And just puts it 5-hole past Gill. Next goal feels like a big one. Nanaimo already a motivated group here, but if they can get back-to-back goals and again cut the lead down to 1, they'll be working with a lot of that adrenaline and that excitement led by their head coach and general manager, Tyenko. For Burnaby, though, if they can deflate the Timbermen a little bit with another quick goal themselves, I mean, it again just puts them in a position where the clock is working against the visitors. Battiston over to Lucas. One of those calming presence type players on the offensive side of the floor for Burnaby. Waddy's shot goes off the face mask of Stewart, shakes it off nicely, and Burnaby gets the rebound. Cartwright tucks, flips over to Battiston. He'll skip back across over to Lucas, who can't beat Jay Stewart between the legs. 9:20 on the clock. Hofer right into the face of Gordon. Those two continue to mix it up. Turnover off the pass from Mon, and Hobson will clear the line. They'll want to get this up to the forward group, though, as Hobson spins off of Rylan Mon, fakes the flip. Got to get rid of this ball here. Hobson keeps his feet moving and finally feeds Urquhart. A tough pass. So Urquhart will bat it ahead, but can't come up with it. It was a good burst from Ben Hobson, but the pass wound up in the feet of Caden Urquhart, and now Nanaimo with a chance again on the offensive side of the ball. DeWitt gets up top, looking to the top right corner, but puts it wide. Oh, and a cross-check right into the neck of Weinstein. That goes uncalled as well. Nanaimo off the turnover. DeWitt jogs into the zone. Late change for Nanaimo, brings on O'Leary. Fontenla clearing space for him. O'Leary now to Harrison. He's been playing out both ends for Nanaimo, out the D gate and out the offensive side. Now one-timer from O'Leary, and that's a nice stop for Gill. Stepped over to the right, that's Bryce Manson-Gordon. He'll clear, leave for Cartwright. Trailer will be Waddy. Quickly to the corner, and they'll start their motion. Open was White, pass never came. Now it does to the corner, but defender got into his hands just in time. White with a good trail check. That ball is up towards the Nanaimo bench, but it'll bounce back in favor of the Lakers. Hofer has it, and he'll cross the line. Waddy has a stick ripped out of his hands. Picks it back up, though, with minimal pressure on him off ball. White looks towards his bench, makes eye contact with Oscar Lucas, who gets the pass. Lucas now to the near wall for Urquhart. Caden Urquhart, hands are free. Not anymore, though. Here's White, 7 on the clock. He'll drag, flip with one hand. Urquhart has it. He'll shoot. Fought off by Stewart, and the rebound will be cleaned up by the Timbermen. Good job by these Nanaimo defenders, really keeping Burnaby to the outside on some of these latest possessions. Now Wade, Hobson staying with him, forcing Wade to his wrong side. Tries to go behind the goal to Fontenla. Weinstein was there. Now Fontenla from distance. That shot was on a hope and a prayer. It goes well wide and all the way down the floor. Lakers will take the free clear. 6.5 on the clock, still leading by 2. Battison on the spin. Avoids the crease, makes the pass over, but Yargo couldn't handle it. Battison looking to recover, forces a tough pass from Nanaimo, and Burnaby has it back. Nanaimo never had possession, though, so it's not a reset for the Lakers. White to Cartwright. He's knocked down by Hall. Ball goes down with him. Cartwright picks it up on the spin, but he'll have to settle with just leaving in the corner. That's a good defensive stand by Jack Hall, and he's just going to clear it himself. Under 6 to play. Keenan DeWitt. Ethan Gordon back on. He's working on a 4-goal game. Fontenla drags around and puts it off the post. Gordon had the rebound fall towards him, but fell out of his stick. Now Syed, he's wrestled down by Rylan Mon, and Burnaby's got to get back onto the floor here. They were in the middle of a change to get the forwards on. Hofer got his stick into the lane on DeWitt. Now Wade puts it wide. Fontenla off the end glass, spins. Another good defensive switch, but Fontenla scores. It's a 1-goal game. Fontenla has been their steady Eddie on the offensive side of the ball this season. Had not scored in this game until now. Similar to the latest Caden Urquhart goal from the Lakers, I don't think Arjun Gill was fully anticipating a shot from Fontenla in that case. Now 5 minutes to go. Gordon. He'll shoot. Good save by Gill. Oh, and almost some friendly fire off the stick of Havrish Blight and through the crease. Gauthier has it. Hofer is over the center line, and he'll settle it down. How does Burnaby want to play this now? Do they just want to settle and use the 30, or they want to go to goal and get an insurance marker? Lucas isn't going to get a chance to make that decision. It was knocked out of his stick. Now he wants to go to goal. Runs into a good double team and loses possession. Nanaimo is going to have to clear this ball, though. Gunderson just bounces that towards the middle, and now Bourne couldn't handle the pass. He tries to catch up to it, and Syed with a tricky loose ball pickup himself. Now 4 minutes on the clock. Burnaby's got to take care of this ball. Same could be said for Nanaimo when they find possession. Battiston working with Waddy. It's a righty strong set for Burnaby. It's White on the drag. Gets around another defender. Top side, he'll shoot. Rebound off the boards. Urquhart can't find it. Battiston will put that a little deeper into the corner. That is another 30 seconds wound down off the clock. But unable to get anything on goal were the Burnaby Lakers. DeWitt. Trailer is Fontenla. Spins on his man, shoots off of Michael Hibbert. An important block, and then he runs right into Nanaimo's leading scorer, Fontenla. Able to find Harrison to the corner. Here's DeWitt. Back to Harrison. Pass was too hot to handle. Fontenla, blind shot, but that hits Harrison in the middle, and another 30 seconds winds down. It's Gordon and Havrish Blight having a chat as they both make their way towards their respective benches. Cartwright to Battiston. Back to Cartwright in the corner. 15 on the clock. Wide open on a twister, but a crease violation on Battiston. Man, that was close. A goal for the Lakers would be big for them to feel good about these late stages. Nanaimo still trying to tie this game. A bouncer off the sidearm shot by Wade finds Gordon. 7 to shoot. He'll put that wide as well. Payne knocked it down. It's through the middle. Gill with a huge right pad stop. Burnaby's got to clear this ball. 2:15 in regulation to go. Up by 1, 7-6 over Nanaimo. Almost a back over call. It's saved just in time by Cartwright, but winds up giving it away to Hall. Mon takes a slash. 2 minutes left to play. DeWitt. Hofer switches to stay with Harrison. DeWitt with a bouncer. That goes cleanly out of play. He thinks it deflected off of a defensive stick. Lucas gets over the line. Don't be shocked if you see the ball stay in the stick of number 20 for a lot of this possession. He'll jog off ball now while Cartwright feeds over to Spencer White. He's going to go to goal, and it's a nice stick stop once again by Jay Stewart. 1:20 in regulation. Gordon fakes the pass over. Stewart remains in goal for Nanaimo. Gordon reaching for that, but it found the floor. So we enter the final 60 seconds of this one. Sagu has it over the center line. He's going to sprint down low. Burnaby wants to keep this as far away from their goal as possible. They also want to use the 30. Battiston's got all sorts of room here. Cartwright to the corner. Waddy protecting, diving, shooting. Stewart makes the stop, and there's the reset that Burnaby wanted. They get it, and they call timeout with 33 on the clock. That may wind up being the ball game, but Nanaimo, they are certainly going to try to get possession back. Expect to see them double the ball, and if they do, expect that they're going to call a timeout if they can find possession. But now, I mean, the clock remains even more their enemy than before, because if they're able to get the ball back, I mean, what? They would have, if they can cut this Burnaby possession short at all, maybe 15 or so seconds, and by then they still have to get the goaltender to the bench. They still have to make sure the officials hear the timeout call. And then they would have to get down the floor as well. Remember, possession starts from where you would call timeout. So if Nanaimo's able to get it, they would likely be starting from their own end. First things first, they need to get this ball back, and Burnaby is just going to try to rag this clock down. They've got 29 on the shot clock, 33.4 in regulation to play. They give it to Cartwright. He flips down to Battiston, who bobbled it. It's still down onto the floor. Nanaimo now has it, and they're going to call timeout with 22.2. This is best case scenario for Nanaimo. 22 seconds to work with. They do have to start from their own end of center, but they're going to start with Stewart on the bench, 6-on-5 possession, which means they can get into the offensive zone with all sorts of time to make something happen. Well. Where would this Timberman team be in this game without the talents of Ethan Gordon? He is most definitely going to be on the floor for this empty net scenario. It will be Kay, Gordon, DeWitt, Mon, Fontenla, and Wade. Their big guns are out. DeWitt is going to be the one to kick things off from their own side of center. Stewart is indeed on the bench with the gate open just in case he has to sprint his way back in. 16 on the clock. Pass is bobbled by Wade. Sagu jumps. Wade has it. Now DeWitt, he bobbled the pass at the near wall. It goes behind the goal. Fontenla battling with Hofer. He's knocked down. Burnaby has it. Hofer is going to sprint, and that is going to do it. The Lakers win back-to-back games for the first time since their 2024 season. What a game. And the Lakers take down the visiting Timbermen, including their former head coach. And now will turn their attention to Wednesday evening, which is when they will play host to the Poco Saints in their next game. Jeremy Lant, team captain of the Lakers, back onto the floor now in his street clothes, but he goes right to Arjun Gill to give him a pat on the head. What a game it was from Gill. And we talked about where would Nanaimo be without the efforts this afternoon of Ethan Gordon. Where would Burnaby have been in this game without Arjun Gill? Especially with some of those third period stops. He was outstanding. So Nanaimo puts up 45 shots on board. Burnaby a respectable 44 as well. But all they care about right now is the number 7, because they take down Ty Yanko and the Nanaimo Timbermen 7-6, your final score from the Swamp. Back-to-back wins for the Lakers as we bid farewell. We thank you for joining us here on Trickshot, and on behalf of the entire crew, my name has been Tino Farah. Again, folks, Wednesday night is when the Lakers will be right back here on these broadcast airwaves, and we will see you then.